When the sun goes down and the lights are low, there's a place where the real talk flows. Rob and Andrew bringing that spark, unfiltered truths after dark. Talking politics, culture, the state of the scene. No spin, just facts in between. From breaking news to stories untold, these voices come bold and cold. They light up the night, no fear in their eyes. Cut through the noise, expose all the lies. Tune in, buckle up, it's gonna get deep. They're waking up minds while the world's asleep. After dark with Rob and Andrew, speaking the truth like they're born to do. Voices strong, opinions tight, shining in the midnight light. After dark, no holding back. They keep you steady when the world's off track.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to After Dark on the America Emboldened Network. I am your host, Rob Harper. Glad you could join me tonight. Unfortunately, Andrew cannot be here. We will be bringing Andrew on soon, so never fear. I just want to jump on really quick and talk about a couple of things that are taking place in our wonderful world. And this one topic that I'm going to discuss, I tried to stay clear of it. But everyone is weighing in on it, and I feel that I should weigh in also because I've talked about it on After Dark on the America Out Loud.news network. And what topic is that? Candace Owens. Wow. I like Candace Owens, but I think what's happening now, she's out of her league. I know that a lot of people have an opinion about this, what she's saying and around Charlie Kirk, and she's trying to get to the bottom as to what happened to him and who killed him, and she's making all of these accusations, conspiracy land stuff, and it's really sad to see this woman who, at the beginning of her career, a lot of people respected her, and they held her in high regards. And to see her now going into these conspiratorial venues, it's sad. And I know a lot of you have your opinion on it, and you're entitled to it, and she's entitled to have her opinion. But I want you all to take a step back and to listen to what I have to say about this. For one, Charlie Kirk was her friend, not her husband. Candace came out the other day and said that she will stop talking about Charlie Kirk or what have you if her husband, George Farmer, or Charlie Kirk's widow came out and told her to stop. She would stop. Well, apparently George Farmer didn't tell her to stop, but Charlie Kirk's widow has come out and said stop. She didn't name Candace's name, but she did say stop, and Candace isn't a dumb woman, so she knew what the message, that the message was directed at her, to stop. Stop what? Stop talking about her husband and all these conspiracy theories. Turning Point USA had something to do with his death. Israel had something to do with his death. Russia had something to do with his death. All these people had something to do with his death, except the man who actually assassinated him. I get it if she doesn't want to believe what the FBI is saying. I understand that perfectly. We don't believe what the FBI was saying when Donald Trump was almost assassinated, not once, but twice. We didn't believe what the FBI was saying when Martin Luther King was assassinated or JFK. I get it. Okay. But again, Charlie Kirk isn't Candace Owens' husband, nor did she bear his children. It's very easy to play Monday morning quarterback, go into the what ifs, don't believe this, don't believe that. That's very easy to do. And you will take people down the rabbit hole with you. Look at what the media did with Trump and the Russia collusion. There was never, ever any collusion. But they were able to get people to believe that there was. Why? Because of Trump's personality. They didn't like it. So he was an easy target. And when you have the media, the weight of the media, and everyone doing the exact same thing, of course, people are going to believe that Trump colluded with Russia. You had Hillary Clinton who orchestrated this entire thing. And then on top of that, Barack Obama was behind it. All of these people were behind it. Trump spent the majority of his first term in office fending off all of those lies, Russia collusion. It didn't take a rocket scientist to say, but how could there be Russia collusion? Just go to Russia and see what's going on. But no one ever thought to do it because they knew that people were going to go down that rabbit hole and say that Trump has done something nefarious. There were even some Republicans who believed it. Fast forward, Jeffrey Epstein. You got a lot of folks going down the Jeffrey Epstein rabbit hole, thinking that Trump did something nefarious. When people have come out, Virginia Giuffre even said he did nothing. The only person who was on Epstein's plane was Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, and possibly Representative Placid. But no one is talking about them. They're focusing on Trump because he's an easy target and people are going down that rabbit hole, which will just keep going and going and going. We want this, we want that. No matter what they give them, it's never good enough. Now Trump has signed a law saying give them everything. People, now they're coming up with, oh, they're going to scrub the files. This not going to be in the file, and that's not going to be in the files. While the victims of Jeffrey Epstein have actually come out to say, Donald Trump wasn't there. He did nothing. But yet and still people are still think or want to believe that he did. That's what Candace Owens is doing. And you know what? She's making money from it. She's making money off of this. I have to be honest, the woman has never met a conspiracy theory that she didn't tag her wagging onto. But a closer observation of who she is, all you have to do is go online and do a Google search, and you'll see that she has a reputation for bringing up these conspiracy theories or creating these beefs with different people. Remember Cardi B? She had a beef with Cardi B. She wanted to take the woman to court. She had a beef with Kim Klacik. She had a beef with Bridget McCone, saying that Bridget is a man. She had a beef with the family of Millie Tibbetts. Remember Millie? Molly, 2018, the nurse who was killed by an illegal alien, compliments of the Biden administration and Democrats in their lax policy on border control. She had a beef with them. And the list goes on and on and on. You never hear about the results as to how it ended. You just hear about the beefs. And then she comes out, oh no, prove me wrong, prove me wrong. How prove a negative wrong? But she keeps going. She likes to keep her name out there. And not only that, folks, you also got to remember that later on, when she was in high school, she attacked the mayor. I think it was the mayor of New Jersey or someplace, said that his son made racial comments about. That was a big scandal way back when. And it has just been the same with this woman throughout her life. Let's look at the records here. Remember, she used to work at PragerU. She used to work at Turning Point USA 2019. She and Charlie Kirk were friends. She left there mysteriously. She went to work at PragerU. She left PragerU in 2020, and she went to work the Daily Wire from 2021 to 2024. And then she had a fallout with Ben Shapiro over anti-Semitic comments. And she wandered in the wilderness looking for a place to land. And then she was able to, with her following, to make a living off of social media, commentary, podcast. But the field got too crowded. So she had to distinguish herself. She had to separate herself from everyone else. No, everything that I'm telling you, folks, is all online. I'm not making this up. I'm giving you a abridged version because I want you to see who this woman is. Now, there are a lot, I am not attacking her. She's entitled to her conspiracy theory. She's entitled to say whatever she wants to say. But for the love of God, This is a grieving woman out here. And she's attacking her, saying that she might have had something to do with her own husband's death, saying that she shouldn't be overturning Parent USA. Well, who should be there? You, Candace? I mean, let's just be honest. Do you want the top job? But each time she comes out with these crazy accusations, she's making money. And you've got a lot of folks that are out there defending her, saying, oh, I'm Team Candace. I'm Team this. What do you mean by team? There are no teams. There's right and there's wrong. She's entitled to her opinion, as wacky as they may be. But to attack this woman because she's not grieving the way Candace thinks that she should have grieved. Oh, she came out during the memorial service and she was all dressed up. She had on and she had on rings and she had on a necklace, and look at the way she was hugging people. And oh no, this there's something behind it. Well, let me just tell you this, Miss Owens. Maybe you've never lost anyone close to you in your life. I have. I've lost my sister, whom I was very close to. I lost my dad. I've lost close friends, an aunt, an uncle. People grieve differently. I learned that years ago. I myself was doing exactly what Candace is doing, trying to assess how a person is grieving. And I remember a friend of mine, rest her soul, June Taylor. She told me, she said, Rob, people grieve differently. Simply because the person isn't falling out in the streets and crying and wailing their arms and whatnot does not mean that the death that they're experiencing in their life does not exist or they don't feel it. We grieve differently. And throughout my life, I have learned to accept that and understand it. We don't know what Miss Kirk is going through. She's probably going at home at night, bawling herself to tears and falling asleep, knowing that she has got to raise her children without her husband. She's got to take up the mantle and go forward. And at the same time, she knows that people are counting on her. Turning Point USA is a business and it has employed people. So she's got to make certain that she upholds a standard because there are people looking for a paycheck. So it's not going to help them for her to throw her hands up and just go to pieces. Nor is it going to help any of us. And she doesn't have to do that in the public. So what in the hell do you want, Miss Owens? Again, she told you to stop. But is Candace going to stop? Absolutely not, because she's got more to say. And she's entitled to it. She can say whatever she wants to say. But remember, there is a grieving family that's out there. Now, some of you would say, well, I've got the inside information, and I know this and I know that. And you weren't married to Charlie Kirk. It didn't impact your bottom line. Well, we know how it impacts Candace's bottom line because she's making money off of this. Each time she comes out with crazy conspiracy theories, people are going to listen. And they're going to say, she's getting to the bottom of it. Well, what's taking her so long? And when she doesn't get to the bottom of it, she's going to come back and say, oh, well, I didn't have the resources. Then what will you people say then? Are you still Team Candace? Some of you will be, and that's okay. But remember, Charlie Kirk wasn't your husband. He wasn't your father. So what gives you the right to try to judge his spouse? Well, I'm entitled to my opinion. Okay, you're right. You're entitled to your opinion. But consider the source. What is Candace trying to do? Before she jumped on this bandwagon, she was attacking Brigitte Macron, saying that the woman was a man without any evidence. And what way would Brigitte be able to defend herself other than to say, I'm not, I can prove it? And that's all Candace wanted. I'll keep pushing this until she has to prove it. And once she proves it, I'll keep going with it on and on and on. And I know that I'll have all these other people behind me as well. It was a smart move, I have to admit. And I spoke about it on After Dark on the America Out Loud radio platform. I spoke about it. Oh, it was a brilliant move. Because how could this woman prove that what Candace was saying was wrong if she really wanted her to stop, other than to say, let me see if I can sue her. Maybe that's what Candace wants. Maybe she wants Charlie Kirk's widow to sue her into silence, to say that you can't say this, you can't say that. And that would make her day. That would make Candace's day, and all the people that are supporting her not realizing that they're just putting money in her pockets by going after this widow. That's all she wants. She wants a lawsuit because if she gets a lawsuit, it will validate her even more. Think about it. Look at all the beefs that she's had. Cardi B, Clem Classic, the Molly Tibbetts family. And the list goes on and on and on. Ben Shapiro, she wants this. She brings on because she's trying to separate herself from the crowded field of podcasts. And what better way to do it than to go out on the fringes? She came out against President Trump. She said that she feels embarrassed, or she's disappointed with Trump, and she feels embarrassed that she told people to vote for him. I dare say if it wasn't for Trump, she probably wouldn't have a career right now. The way he embraced her and welcomed her in, she would just be another voice that's out there. Voice in the wilderness. But people don't see it because she's well-spoken. And you know what? Let me just put this up on the stage here. That's Ilhan Omar and that's Candace Owens. You know, they kind of look alike. You know, when I was doing my prep work for this, I found it out, I'm like, is Candace, does she have ancestry from Somalia? I mean, look at them, look at their cheekbones, their eyes. I mean, Candace's eyes are kind of, you know, far apart, but they favor, as the old people would say, they look alike. They really do look alike. You throw a turban on Candace's head, they can be sisters connected at the hip. Or take off Ilhan Omar's turban, although I've seen pictures with her, and I don't know if she's bald head or not. I don't know. But nevertheless, just look, they do look, they look like they could be sisters. Man, again, I just came across this when I was doing my work, and maybe I'm going to tie this all in. Candace is trying to extort money from the Kirk family, or from Turning Point USA, the same way Ilhan Omar's folks, her brethren, kinsmen in Minnesota, stole $2 billion from the state. Wow. Connect the dots. Maybe there is some type of ancestry, you know, connection between the two women. You know, Ilhan Omar lies all the time. She comes up with all these conspiracy theories. She's saying that Trump is a racist. And you know, guys that find it interesting nowadays, that whenever the left wants to shut you down, they'll come up and say, oh, this person is a racist. Oh, you're a racist. And thinking it's going to shut it down. Did you guys see the situation the other day with that woman who worked at, I think it was Cinnabon, and she was attacked by these Somalians. And she just went off and she started saying the N-word. Kind of hate saying the N-word. The N-word, close your ears if you don't want to hear this, but she said nigger. And she started calling him a nigger. I don't know if she called him a sand nigger, but she used the word and people found it offensive. Now, you know, I mean, she took it a bit too far, but she's raised a lot of money in her defense. She's raised a lot of money. No, I don't know if I would have gone there, but when you think about it, when people get mad for some reason, they do have a tendency of using the most horrific words to make themselves feel good. I don't know, I say to make themselves feel good, but to prove a point. They're mad, they're angry. You either use the F word or you use the N word. Black people use it all the time. Look at rappers. You get mad, you go to the ghetto, you go to the hood, get mad at a brother. The first thing that's going to come out of their mouth, they're going to call you the N word. Now, I don't know what word white people use when they get mad. I don't think you use the N word or not. But yeah, it is interesting that, wow. Back to Candace Owens. I don't get this woman and why she's doing this to Charlie Kirk's widow, and why she just won't just stop. I mean, she wants to be a power broker, and I guess this is how she feels that she will become a power broker. I'm just looking at something really quick. I wanted to mention something else here. I'm looking at my phone. She feels that this is the only way she can be a power broker is by coming out with all this crazy stuff that makes no sense. So she's hoping that Erica Kirk will call her name. Once she says her name, then it'll be a backwards and forward. Candace would try to engage her, but Erica isn't going to take the bait, because when she said to stop, she didn't even mention Candace's name, but we all know who she was talking about. So imagine what's happening now. And as we get closer to the midterms, what Candace will be doing if she's not stopped. She wants to be a power broker, as do others like Tucker Carlson. They want to be able to say, vote for this person, don't vote for that person. They want to be able to fill that void that Trump is going to leave once he exits the stage in 2028. What better way to do it than to try to get people on your side now, to get them to what you're saying. And I got to admit, Candace has been doing a fantastic job. She's hopscotch from Cardi B, Kim Klacid, Bridget McCone, all over the place. I mean, she's attacking Jews, and she's looking for a niche so that she can be a power broker. But you know something else that I've noticed about Candace Owens? She doesn't surround herself around women. Now, don't get me wrong here, there are women that are out there that are defending her. I saw one woman who was defending her the other day, and she had the most trashiest mouth, and I thought, wow, I mean, come on. I mean, she was really going off and saying that, oh, this person's trying to attack Candace, and I'm going to do this, and I'm like, okay, you can prove a point without into the. But that's how some people are. They feel as if they'll. And I said this, you use those words, the N word, the F word. She feels as though you've got power, that you're making a point. So I guess that's what she had to do. But I've noticed that Candace in her circle, she doesn't have women. I wonder why is that? Why doesn't she have women in her circle? That's something to think about. Is there some type of complex that's there? She doesn't surround herself around women. Now, I'm sure she'll probably say, well, my secretary is a woman of this or that. I don't know. But it's worth asking, why doesn't she surround herself around women or have a woman in her circle? Maybe she could put Ilhan Omar there. Again, look at them. They look like sisters, like there's a sisterhood. And by the way, I was saying if there's some type of ancestry DNA, from my research, and you guys can do it also, Candace's parents, I think her mom or her dad from the Caribbean. I think her grandma's from the Caribbean, not her dad or mom. But she grew up with her mom. Her dad, I think, left the house when her mom when she was all of 12. I think Candace is a third sibling, but her mom is from the Caribbean islands. They easily could have come from Somalia. But look, they do favor. I mean, Ilhan Omar's nose is more kind of point narrow as opposed to Candace's button nose. But the facial features, the cheekbones, the narrow chin, they look alike. And like I said, what's her name? Ilhan Omar and her brother went in this whole $2 billion deal in Minnesota that Democrats don't want to talk about. Have you guys noticed that? They refuse to talk about what happened in Minnesota. $2 billion. Not a million, but billion. This is unbelievable. The same way the Democrats refuse to talk about, and the media as well, the 62,000 innocent children that the Trump administration found. Tom Homan mentioned it the other day, the borders are. The Democrats won't talk about that, or the media. But you know what they will talk about? Jeffrey Epstein, and wanting to get access to those files, and wanting to know all the names. What about the names of the individuals who abused those 62,000 children? Remember, the Biden administration lost track of, I think, 300,000 children that they allowed to be smuggled across the border. They lost them. Well, we know that Kamala Harris, the supposedly border czar at the time, wasn't interested in finding out anything about the kids. But why isn't the media asking the question also? Why aren't they? Why aren't they demanding to know the names of the individuals who abused those 62,000 children? Why aren't they? Why aren't people on social media demanding the names on both the left and the right? Why aren't you guys saying, we want to know the names? Who were these people? These were children. And these are the same people who will post on X, Red, TikTok, and Facebook. We don't want any pedos. We want pedos out. Okay, 62,000 children were abused by pedos. Why aren't you asking for the names? Why are you still asking for Jeffrey Epstein files? And they will be released. And when you don't get the names that you're looking for, You're going to continue to go down a rabbit hole. Why? Well, because the media has you going down a rabbit hole. The same way Candace Owens have a lot of her supporters going down a rabbit hole, an endless rabbit hole, while she's making money. She's making cash money. She's causing grief in the hearts of Erica Kirk. Well, she could care less. She's busy making money. And she's trying to set herself up as a power broker for the 2028 election. And Tucker Carlson's doing the same thing. Let's just be honest. Now, guys, I like people. I like to watch Tucker Carlson, but I'm aware of what they're doing. And you have to be aware of them also. And it's okay to have a comment, a thought about it. But just imagine if Candace Owens' husband was shot dead. And I'm not saying that should happen, folks. I'm just saying. Would she want people constantly talking about it and saying, well, this is what happened. Oh, they don't know what happened. I know what happened. Although the police and probably the FBI are keeping her up to date as to what's going on, well, we're going to say, oh, don't believe them, believe us, which is pretty much what Candace is doing. She's telling the people, her followers, don't listen to those people. I mean, Erica is not telling us what we want her to tell us, so I'm going to make this stuff up myself as it can as the inside scoop. And she has said on a few occasions that according to her sources, they're telling her this. Who are her sources? Who told her this? Well, inside people. Who are the inside people? I remember when she didn't like those inside sources, she was telling people when she was the right time, I don't believe that. Now she's coming up with these inside sources and, people are trying to kill her and send money to her so she can protect herself. Folks, it's a scam. And it sounds like one of those church scams also. You know how when the preachers get up and say, send me money because I need this and I need that? Well, that's what she's doing. So if any of you are sending her money, crazy. I'm just being honest with you guys. I mean, from what I'm looking at. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense what she's saying. Charlie Kirk wasn't her husband. Maybe she had something for him. I don't know. They were close buddies, connected at the hip. She left Turning Point in 2019, and she went to PragerU. She left PragerU in 2021, and she went to the Daily Wire, where she was here until 2024. Then she had a falling out with Ben Shapiro, who happens to be Jewish. Now, I said this in the opening because I guess she meant this is, hey, you can get a lot of attention when you start going against the Jews. I mean, Jews are always an easy target. Talk about Jews, people would jump on. Look at what happened earlier than 2024. People were attacking Jews on the college campuses. After the October 7th attack in Israel, that was unprovoked. You can say whatever you want to say about the Jews or Israelis or whatever. I don't care. But let's just dump on them. It's ridiculous. The same way Tucker Carlson came out and said, oh, is Jews control Trump? Are they controlling the White House? Well, if they were, they messed up, because look at how the things that Trump told Benjamin Netanyahu trying to get peace. Excuse me. So I hardly think the Israelis are pulling Trump's strings the other way around. But people can't see that. You know why? Because there are some bad actors in the Jewish community. But you can't lump them all in one bucket. The same way you can't lump black people in the same bucket because you see the bad stuff that they're doing in the ghetto or in the hood in Chicago. And did you guys rock today? He was in Chicago, went to some school. He was reading Christmas stories. He was dressed down in khakis, and everyone, well, the media, they loved it. They ate it up. And apparently he was there to check on his presidential library, which looks like a mosque, which is building God knows how long. But other than that, he hardly ever steps foot in Chicago. Why is that? Well, because Chicago is out of control thanks to the governor and the mayor. Trump wants to protect Chicago, protect Black lives by sending in the National Guards so they can clamp down on crime the same way they clamped down on crime in D.C. But Brandon Johnson said, oh, leave crime alone. The governor said the same thing, Pritzker, don't you come here, leave our crime alone. Really? How are you guys protecting Black lives? Remember, Candace even formed Blexit to get away from the Democratic Party. Again, she's a smart woman. She formed it in 2018. But then she's fallen off some I don't know what happened. But back to Chicago crime. National Guards to protect Black lives, crack down on crime. Brandon Johnson, the governor, said, the mayor said, don't hear on it. The governor said the same thing. So the poor Black people there are having to, every weekend, crime is up to wazoo. And like Barack doesn't care, he barely ever comes there. You would think he would come out and say, guys, we need to get this crime under control. Why is it that in blue cities, we have such a high level of crime? And why is it always in the Black community? And we keep talking about Black Lives Matter. Look at DC. The same thing. Crime was completely out of control. National Guards came in, Muriel Browser didn't want it, and she welcomed it, and now people can walk around DC. And oh, I dare forget the Jan 6 bomber, Brian Cole Jr. And he's a Black guy. I know you guys are shocked, like, wow, a Black person actually knows how to put together a bomb. I don't mean any harm, but I thought, whoa, a brother did this? Unbelievable. But look at what the media is. Tapper came out and said the guy was white. Like, no, he's Black. The same way they said the guy in New York City who shot up this building, they said he was white, Aaron Burnett, but the guy's Black. Like, are you, come on now. Show some love for the brothers. This is crazy. But they didn't want to call it. You know why? Because they want you to think it was an evil white man. If it was a white man, oh my God, they would still be talking about the Jan 6 bomber. But notice how that has just fallen off the radar. And what are they on now? Oh, well, they have moved to the Venezuelan boats. And Trump is, well, they're not calling them boats. They're calling them fisher boats, fishing boats. Not a fishing boat. It's a boat of weapons of mass destruction that they're trying to deliver drugs, narcotics to the U.S. And you've got the Democrats trying to defend it. Oh, Trump, they're blowing up fishing boats. Are you serious? And now, get a load of this. It's a fisher boat. And they keep saying, release the tape, release the tape. Now they're saying, oh, AI. The Trump administration, they're using AI to make it look like it wasn't a fisher boat. You know what? I always come with receipts. Look at check this out. I'm gonna
These fishing boats were also
fishing boats? Are you? What's a fishing boat?
well,
The drug runners?
runners.
The fishing boats.
Yeah.
Those are fishing boats. They're turbo.
fishing boats.
Well, let's talk about Article 2 authority. The commander chief has identified and designated terrorist organizations who are cartels who run drugs that kill 100,000 Americans a year. So there's a legal question that he has the legal ability to blow those boats out of the water, and they will continue.
The AI apocalypse is here now.
No
and we have
AI.
a government that actually worries about that and blowing up fishing boats and building Marie Antoinette-style ballrooms.
Strikes on fishing boats, or what could be, or what look like fishing boats.
And now the Trump administration is saying that they care so much about stopping drugs from into the country that they're going to bomb the guys on a fishing boat.
Clearly, you see in the news, bombing fishing boats in the Caribbean, saying they're
Fishing.
things like that, where it's like, well, are things careening a little bit off here?
Okay, guys. God. Whoa, you can't make this stuff up. Fishing boats? Are you serious? And you know what? You're going to have a lot of people walking around saying, oh, they're blowing up fishing boats. Oh, fishing boats. Okay, if they're blowing up fishing boats that are carrying narcotics that's going to come to our shore and poison our children, go into neighborhoods and kill people, then so be it. And then you'll have activist judges. We need to get rid of all these activist judges. Seriously, we need to get rid of them. And another activist judge to say, and it was an Obama judge to say that they need to release this guy, Ortega Garcia, because Americans, no, he is not. He's going to continue. He will kill someone. He will continue to kill someone. And you know what? If they release him, send him to the judge's house. And why is it? It's always these liberal Democrat activist judges. Where are the Republican judges to counter this and say, no, you can't do that? And then we have to wait and send it to the Supreme Court. Once the Supreme Court rules, then the media comes out, oh, Supreme Court, they're bad. They're listening to Trump. Guys, we've got to win the midterm election so that we can clamp down on this craziness. We can get rid of it. We have to win the midterm election. We've got to stand together. Just to hear me clearly, I am not saying that there might be some things that Donald Trump does that you don't agree with. I get it. I understand it. Okay. But as far as winning the election in 2026, we all need to get out there and win. Look at what happened in Miami. They named a Democrat mayor after 30 years. Democrats are seizing on this. They're going to jump on this. And if they win the 2026 midterms, Trump will be impeached again, as well as Kristi Noem, as well as Pete Hegseth. They will impeach them all. Republicans be impeaching judges, but they won't because they're afraid of their own shadow. Trump has got to get back on the campaign trail again. Everyone riled up to go to the midterms and vote. I don't think that it's fair. It's a good idea. But come on, folks. Come on. What does he have to do? He's showing you how to fight. He won the election. Can you guys at least do something? Yeah, you can do it. Just don't be afraid of yourself. Get out there and make it happen. Start now. Get together a ground game. Don't wait until the 11th hour. We've got all this going against us. They're talking about affordability now. Oh, Trump, and everything is too high. Folks, let me just explain it to you. Biden gave us inflation. The prices went up. The prices aren't going to go down. What to go up are the wages. And if you expect the prices to go down, then we have to have an oversaturation of goods so that they're really good, that everyone is competing for it, and then the prices will drop. But other than that, come on, folks. You got a lot of folks out there that don't understand basic economics. And Republicans are just quiet about it. It's time to get out front. It's time to start tooting your horns and look at what we've done. Look at what we're going to do. And 2026 has got to be our year. All the tariffs, all the taxes, everything Trump putting in place now. Going overseas, making deals, getting countries to invest, bringing back jobs. It's not going to happen overnight. But 2026, it has to happen, or else we're in trouble. So we need to start now getting together our ground game to make certain that we're in midterms. Because you know why? You got people like Candace Owens, who wants to be a power broker, who's going to jump in the middle of it. If they don't stop her now, she's going to jump in the middle of it, and then she's going to start saying, oh, no, don't vote for this person. Oh, don't vote for that person. Oh, this. And I can see it now, and I can hear her now. Let's put her back up on the screen. There she is. She and her, wow, they do look alike. I don't know if it's me, but they look alike. I mean, slap a turban on her head? Hey, what do I know? But again, we've got to get out there. We've got to win the terms. We cannot allow the Democrats to take the House or the Senate. They take the House, Trump is going to be impeached again. We're going to go through the same thing, and his agenda stops. And we will not be able to make America great again. So we have got to win the midterms. We've got to. It's important that we win it. But let me see. What else I want to talk about? I spoke about Candace Owens, which I opened up to about that. And yeah, we still need to find out what's happening in Minnesota, little Mogadishu. I don't like that. All those Somalis that are here, and they're a drag on our economy. And I'm hearing many of them, they have bad education, they don't speak English, and 80% of them are living off the public dole. 80%. Why do we let them come here? Well, it goes all the way back to Bill Clinton. Remember, I mentioned this Black Down. There was a Civil War. We tried to go in with a ragtag group and stop it. They attacked our soldier, knocked down our Black Hawk, and dragged the body of our dead soldier in the streets. Oh, we didn't like that at all. But I've been president. Somalia would not exist today because I would put something on them. But of course, we can't do it because they, the Geneva Convention, and this is not right. And they don't have the weaponry that we have. And why did they do what they did? But anyway, after that, we opened up our doors and we allowed some of them to come here. And they landed in Minnesota, of all places. Well, I tell you why, because Minnesota is very generous when it comes to welfare. very generous. And that's how they were able to extort $20 billion, not 20, but $2 billion from the government. And I'm hearing some of the money ended up back in Somalia, Al-Shabaab, the terrorist group, who's trying to kill us. And not only that, many of the Somalis that got some of the money, they opened up businesses, they bought houses, they had cars, but they didn't have jobs. Black people, the ones that call themselves African Americans, you should be mad about this because the Democrats keeps telling you that you will overcome. The Somalis come here and they've already overcame. Why aren't you guys mad? Why are you guys insisting on bringing in more illegals? Are you serious? You see what the Democrats have done for you? Absolutely nothing. Everyone that comes here, they put them ahead of you. And maybe that's what they're doing with the Somalis. Maybe they're putting them ahead of you, but they want another group that would be dependent upon them. Another group that would be dependent upon their social welfare programs. Because Black people, you're up percent of the population and you're not growing. Because you're busy having abortion, you're busy killing each other. And when you have a president like President Trump who says that I'm losing Black lives by sending in the National Guard, you allow Blacks like Brandon Johnson to say, we don't want you here. Don't come here. Leave our crime alone. Have these white liberals that'll say, that's right, don't come here. And the white liberal women, oh my God, talk about a threat to democracy. And this crazy woman, Jennifer Welch, I think that's her name, who was a Bravo housewife. Why won't she and Candace get together? A podcast. They're both crazy. I mean, again, I like Candace, but lately she's been on the dark side. The two of them should get together and do a podcast because that Welch chick with all her Botox, yeah, she's crazy. She's representative of all the other liberal women that are out there that are trying to save Black people. They're trying to save democracy. Oh, and they love gay men because it's right up their alley. They're not a threat, albeit they're going into spaces. Well, that's the trans men that are going into those spaces. And why is it that you never have women pretending to be men trying to go into men's spaces, into men gyms? It's always these white men, liberal white men, who claim to be women with a beard and a penis, and that they're women going into women's spaces. Why is that? And where's the feminist movement? Why would they say, get out of here, you can't do this? They're quiet, they're complicit, they love this. I scratch my head, I'm like, I don't quite get it. Seriously, think about it. It's only these white beta males pretending to be women going into women's spaces. You send them to prison, they'll say, I'm having a sex change, I want to go to the female prison. Then they go to the female prison and knock up all the women. And then you have these judges saying, oh, okay, get rid of these liberal judges. And by the way, the judges that say that it's okay, a majority of them are white liberal women. You're not representing women well. You're doing a horrible job. A horrible job. If you want those positions, then you need to act jurisprudently, but they're not. Wow. What else? I think that's about it. That's all I had that I wanted to come on. Let me just look at my notes and make sure that I covered everything that I wanted to cover. If I leave you with one thing, I would say, I just thought of something else I wanted to mention. I talked about the 62,000 children found. Have you guys noticed that they've said very little about the shooting in Stockton, California? Very little has been said about that. Are you wondering why? I'll tell you why. Because the shooting involved a Black family, people of color. The media doesn't care about it. Had it been a white person shooting up, oh, they would still be covering it. The same way they would be covering about the, as I mentioned, the children, 62,000 children. Whenever it involves a Black person who's acting badly, the media is not going to cover it. The same way they stopped covering Brian Cole Jr. that is. He's a Black guy. They don't want to cover it. If it's a white man talks and cover it. Now, I know that they have been covering the Tyler Robertson story, the guy that killed Charlie Kirk. But there's an angle to it, I'm sure. But they'll probably try to make him seem like he's an okay person. They won't talk about him being liking furries and all this other crazy stuff. They'll probably stay away from that. You know why? Because it involves the trans community. The trans community who within the past 5 years have been shooting up schools. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about there is an issue in the trans community. They want to stay clear of it because they want you to accept that violence as if though it's necessary, a necessary evil almost. We're not going to accept a damn thing. We're going to call it out here on After Dark because that's what we do. What else? Mentioned that. Talked about the fishing boat, how Democrats are now trying to jump on saying that the weapons of mass destruction boats are actually fishing boats. No, they're not. Don't be deceived. Don't go down that crazy rabbit hole. And if they don't get any steam out of this, they're going to revert back to the Jeffrey Epstein files. But I'm thinking that they're going to probably try to get a lot of steam out of the fishing boats because they want to use this to impeach Trump if they gain power in during the midterms in 2026. So again, we got to get out there and vote. Up against the close of the show, and I will leave you with the thought again, going back to my opening. Erica Kirk family. Again, people grieve differently. Some people fall out in the streets and they're crying, they're pulling their hair out, pulling their clothes off. Some people are reserved. There are no rules or right way or wrong way to grieve. But there is a right and wrong way to respect a person who's grieving. There is a right and wrong way to treat human beings, our fellow human beings, and not try and profit off of their loss or their grief, which is what Candace Owens seemingly, allegedly seems to be doing. I'm not attacking her. And you can have your own opinion. You can be on Team Candace all you want to. But I would encourage you to go and look at her background. I would encourage you and go and look at all the beefs that she's had with all these people to gain popularity. That's all I'm saying. She's good at it. She's a master deceptioner. But know right from wrong and know when a person is stringing you along just to line their coffers. Because to me, in my opinion, that's what she's doing. That's all I have to say. Thank you for tuning in. You can catch me and Andrew live on AmericaOutloud.news on your iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcast, Monday through Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then again, I come on live most weeks on American Bolden. It really isn't a set time. So catch me when you can. But I do appreciate you carving out this time to listen and be with me. Until next time, folks, be blessed, stay alert, and don't be deceived. Thank you.
After Dark with Rob and Andrew, speaking the truth like they're born to do. Voices strong, opinions tight, shining in the midnight light. After dark, no holding back. They keep you steady when the world's off track.